Everyone. Welcome to another episode of Data Dialogues. I am your host, Larisa Bedgood, and I am head of marketing here at PGM. And with me today is Michelle Taves, VP and Group GM of the Data and Marketing Group. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. We always have lots of fun together.
Yes, we do. And today's episode is a fun one. We're talking about the top 8 craziest hotel rooms. And I am actually in the process of booking probably an Airbnb in Nashville. I'm going there later this year with my daughter and mom and sister. I don't think any of the rooms that I will be booking, though, are any of the ones that we're talking today. I mean, we're talking about glass igloos in the Arctic, rooms carved into cliffs, which I would definitely never book. There's some crazy rooms underwater. And, just stepping back for a minute, when it comes to travel, people today are really looking for that experience. It's more than just a destination. People are really looking for experience-driven vacation experiences. And consumers are willing to spend more sometimes on an experience and plan earlier for experiences that really, really feel unique. And as marketers, the question kind of becomes, how do you know who is really ready for that kind of experience, or who may be looking for travel experiences? And the data is definitely out there. We know at PGM that behind each of these bucket list trips, there are signals, right? Like people are browsing. Maybe there's life stage shifts, income changes, behavior patterns. There's a lot of really rich data. But I don't want to digress too much because we have a really fun episode for you today. We're going to get into some really crazy hotel rooms that if you're so inspired, you may want to book yourselves. So with that, what do we have, Michelle?
So the first one is probably one, Larissa, I would not book, but I actually have my sister would probably be super interested in it. It's a glass igloo in Finland, the Lapland region. It is one of the coldest and most northern places you can go. It just like got out of my plan when it said coldest. Think snow-covered pine forest, like you're in the North Pole. I'm sure it's actually beautiful. To no surprise, it's a huge destination for people that absolutely love Christmas. It's out in the middle, just a standalone glass igloos. Each one is its own little structure. It's just one room. And the entire dome is glass, and it's a full view of the sky above you, which does sound like it's absolutely beautiful. I know one of my big things I'd love to do is to go see the Northern Lights. And so obviously you can see the Northern Lights there. They offer snow igloos and log cabins, all built around the Arctic experience.
I've never seen the Northern Lights. That's definitely a bucket list item for me. I might do something like this, but probably not.
Maybe for a very short period of time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Although I do really like this next one. I want to go on a Serengeti at some point in my life. And this next one is the Giraffe Manor in Nairobi, Kenya. And it's actually set on this really large private wildlife sanctuary. Kind of think of like this old world mansion right in the middle of the plains. And it's actually pretty cool because it serves a purpose versus just being fun for visitors. It's a breeding and rehabilitation center for the endangered Rothschild's giraffes. And interesting, I have a fun fact about giraffes. I went to a giraffe ranch, probably, it wasn't this one, but in Tampa, Florida. And I found out that giraffes only sleep 30 minutes to 2 hours a day. I mean, that is crazy to me. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They have like lions and stuff. You don't want to sleep too long on the African plains. But fun fact
That is
for the
very
day.
interesting. No, I did not know that either, Larissa.
Yeah. So anyway, so as far as this giraffe manor goes, for visitors, it's a great part of their experience. They can actually roam freely around the property. They can walk into buildings, and the windows are actually placed in a way so that the giraffes can stick their heads inside, looking for food. So think of, maybe you're eating breakfast, eating some pancakes, and there's a giraffe that's trying to nuzzle the syrup or something. So yeah, that's kind of cool. That would be, I think, a little bit more fun for me than the cold igloos.
I totally agree. So next up is actually interesting. My children would love it. Anyone that is into Star Wars or any kind of space theme. So the next one is a space theme room at Fantasy Island Hotel in Canada. It sits inside West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, which is actually one of the largest malls in North America. And the mall doesn't just offer shopping, it's a massive indoor water park plus tons of other attractions. I actually think I might have to go check it out. It sounds like it's fun. The hotel itself is highly detailed themed rooms. Roman rooms, old western, pirate, tropical, etc. And there's a space room. It is designed like the inside of a sci-fi spaceship. It has cosmic paint all around the walls. It's neon LED lights throughout, buttons, control panels everywhere. Bunk beds are built like sleeping pods. And there's even a style window, just like you're looking out into space. That sounds like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And really good timing, that while we're recording this episode,
Yeah.
just a few days ago, the Artemis went up and is making its way around the moon. So I bet that this room, though, has better accommodations than the Artemis.
And you could choose how many people you're sharing it with, right? Like they're all sharing stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so next one up is an airplane suite in Costa Rica. This is actually called the Hotel Costa Verde, and it's near Manuel Antonio National Park. So the area there is known for some really amazing beaches, jungle, wildlife, and the hotel itself is really unique because it's a real Boeing 727 airplane that was turned into a hotel room. So think of just this plane kind of sitting on a ledge above the jungle, overlooking the coastline. And from a distance, I imagine it kind of looks like a plane that crashed and is basically sticking out of the trees. So if you didn't know it was a hotel, that might be a little bit of a shocker. But inside, it's, a little bit, it has been transformed. It doesn't look like the inside of a plane with rows of seats. It has two bedrooms. Almost everything is made of wood. So I'm thinking kind of like a log cabin feel, like the wood, the floor, walls, ceiling, furniture, all made of wood. So yeah, so it's a cabin-like feeling inside a plane, inside the jungle, inside Costa Rica.
I don't know about that one, Larissa. Like, I'm not sure I really enjoy being in a plane in the first place to travel, but I look forward to the destination. I don't know if I would choose to sleep in an airplane when I have other options available.
Yeah,
That's just
I
me.
agree. I remember a movie back in the day. It was called Romancing the Stone. And they were in the jungle and they had to like sleep overnight in this abandoned plane in the jungle, like I said. But they, of course, had snakes in their room. So I don't know. That just kind
Oh.
of, yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's a little too real for me. The next one I absolutely love. I know you do too, Larissa. We are both big dog people. And so the next one is a dog bark park inn. Say that 5 times fast. In Cottonwood, Idaho. It's right off the Highway 95, very much of a roadside attraction. The entire building is shaped like a giant beagle, and they named it. It's named Sweet Willie. The owners call the style style bark a texture. I don't know if I can say that either, but we'll try. Inside, it has two bedrooms, bed, and breakfast. It's almost always booked, months and even years in advance. So get your reservations in if you want to stay at the Bark Park Inn. The whole place is completely dog themed. Dog cravings, dog art, dog carvings, dog decor everywhere, pillows, headboards, shelves, rugs. My husband would absolutely hate it. Many of the wood carvings are made by one of the two owners. And yes, they do allow cats.
That's great. When we were doing the research for the episode, I think I was researching this particular one and I saw that I think on the property or right near there, they had a chainsaw art museum. So that kind of gives you the idea for the feel of this area.
That's funny.
Okay, this one is a hard no for me. This one is called the Utter Suite in Sweden. So it's located on and actually in a lake. So it's on Lake Malaren, and the hotel is just two rooms, and it's floating on the water. So I think one room is floating above the water, but one is submerged below it. That's where I would get a little bit nervous. You can only get
Almost
there
like
by
a boat
boat.
submarine, a boat submarine, a house
Yeah,
submarine. Yeah.
yeah. Well, wait. There's another one that I think later on that you can only get to it by scuba diving too. So that's a that's an experience. But this one you can at least take a boat to. And from the outside, it looks like kind of like a small shed, and there's a deck around it that acts like a dock. Inside the upper room, there's a trap door that leads to the underwater room. And in that room, the windows are portholes. So that actually is kind of cool. So, imagine you're sitting below the surface, looking into the lake around you, maybe seeing a bunch of fish, or I don't know how clear the water is, but that I think that would be fun. I think though to sleep there, I'd be a little nervous.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I might enjoy visiting it because if you think about it, lake water, I don't think it's not like an ocean, right? It's not like historically clean. You can see through it. It's usually more gunky. And yes, that's a technical term. So I just wonder what you can really see on the bottom part. But it might be
Yeah,
fun to go
I
see.
agree.
So the next one is Knoll Stern Hotel in Switzerland, located in the Swiss Alps. This one was interesting. It started out being built inside an old nuclear bunker. Can you imagine? But the newest idea is called zero real estate. The rooms have absolutely no walls. There's no roof. There's no structure at all. Basically, it's a bed, a nightstand, and a lot of open space. So I would equate it to camping without a tent. It's actually quite beautiful. The beds are placed across the Swiss Alps, surrounded by mountains, hills, and open landscape. You get completely unobstructed views within every direction. You're basically sleeping out under the stars. And get this, each comes with a butler, a local hike up to that brings you food, drinks, and checks you in. Obviously, entire dependent on the weather. But when it works, it's pretty incredible experience. Like, could you imagine going and booking this, sleeping, and all of a sudden it starts raining in the middle of the night? And there's no one there.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get out? What do you do? I don't know. Might be. It got me on nuclear bunker, but then I started thinking about all the weather. I'm like, and it's high up in the air. So again, probably not one for little old me.
Well, I think it's kind of funny. I do like the whole fact that there's a butler with a local hiker bringing you food, ordering a pizza in the middle of the night, and they're trudging up, and hopefully they don't trip. Okay, so this one I think is the one. Yes, this is the one where you have to scuba dive to get to. So this last one is an underwater hotel in Key Largo, Florida. It's called Jules Undersea Lodge, and it sits at the bottom of a lagoon. So you can't obviously just walk in. You do have to scuba dive to get there, and that's about 20 feet underwater. Once you're inside, there are beds, there's a little living space, even a small kitchen. And of course, the windows give you full views into the water around you. So, unlike probably the lake experience, I imagine, especially being in Key Largo, Florida, that it's super clear. You can
Oh,
see a lot
yeah.
of fish. I bet that's really beautiful to see. It
I
was
do wonder how the
originally,
kitchen area works, Larissa. Like, as you think about a
yeah.
kitchen, how do you get electric or gas to be able to cook? I don't know. I'm just kind of curious how that works.
That's a really good question. And well, you might not want to cook in the kitchen because they do deliver food here.
Oh,
Unlike the other one where they hike, this one is a scuba diver diving down with your meal. I did read on the episode research that they will deliver pizza, so
oh,
pretty
fun. I
pretty
wonder how they.
interesting.
I'm just thinking of all kinds of things. Can you see this great big scuba diver with like a to go pizza box? Like, how do they get it to not
Right.
be all wet? How do they make sure it's warm? I don't know. I have lots of questions. I do think that this one sounds like it would be a lot of fun, though. Like, I'm a Florida
Yeah.
girl, so I bet I would enjoy. This is one I might go out and try.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that the whole concept of just being so clear and being able to see the it's like being in like a giant aquarium but not is
Yeah.
kind of fascinating.
I agree. Can you imagine waking up like that? So,
Yeah.
so as me and Larissa go and think about these things, and we have a lot of fun trying to find some of these kinds of unusual trips, you don't accidentally go and book a glass igloo or an underwater hotel. There's usually a pretty specific person, right, that is interested in some of those things. Trips are planned, researched, saved, and a lot shows up in the data. People browsing for destinations, maybe looking at cruises, maybe looking at Arctic locations, reading travel content, and etc. And that's actually where PGM comes in because we really take great pride that we have access to a lot of this people behavior we refer to it as understanding who's a travel enthusiast, who is a frequent vacation planner, who loves to go on cruises, who is a luxury traveler, really wants that butler to come and climb up on that mountain. And we're really fortunate that we see a lot of this in the data that we maintain and that we try to collect every single day, really focusing on people behavior. And for this particular case, we would focus on people who love experiences, people who are planning their next really big trip right now. And so this is just a great example of how you can use data to be able to grow your business, especially if you're all about hotels and travel.
I love doing these episodes. This is where we get to have fun, Michelle. We talk in our regular jobs, all about, data all the time, but I love how we can find these really fun ways to tie it into data. And yeah, at the end of the day, a cruise marketers can use the data to, I don't know if they can actually have data on, igloo glass lovers or glass igloo lovers. But the data's there. I think it's really cool. So yeah, so that was a very fun episode. Some 8 really unique and incredible hotel destinations. Maybe they will inspire your next vacation. So with that, thank you, Michelle, and for all of you out there, stay curious, stay data driven, and we will see you next time on Data Dialogues. Thank you.